Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out. We're really excited to have you here today as we announce the next iteration of DJI's technology. With every time we make an announcement, we always try to choose a location that's specifically tied to the themes that we want to talk about. So it's no coincidence that today we're here on the Warner Brothers studio lot in Burbank, California. Any film shoot is a challenge for imaging technology when seconds can count thousands of dollars. Professionals need equipment that's reliable, fast to set up, and flexible enough to handle a wide variety of complex shooting situations. That's why over the past several years, DJI has benchmarked our technology by how it's being adopted by creative film and photography professionals around the world. So we've seen our equipment used on feature film sets, TV shows, music videos, commercial shoots, many of them used by you guys here in the audience. And throughout all of that, we've been looking at how can we optimize it so it works more seamlessly with your workflow. So you can just take the image and start creating immediately. Well, most of you know that when you start flying, you have to make a creative choice. Am I going to use a large, hard-to-set-up system that's really complicated, but at the same time, versatile enough to handle your creative needs? Or are you going to take something that's small and portable, but constrained in the creative choices that you can make in the sky? You can actually see DJI's progress in addressing this through our flagship Phantom series, which is our ready-to-fly platform that just allows you to get into the air. Many of you first experienced the Phantom with the Phantom 2 Vision Plus, which was the first aerial system to have a fully integrated 3-axis stabilized HD camera. With the Phantom 3 Pro, we upgraded that camera to 4K, and with the Phantom 4, we improved the optics and the stabilization to create a better image than ever. But throughout all of this, you've been constrained by different things like sensor size, processing, aperture, and you had to change the way that you're thinking about your shoot so that you could accommodate the technology. Well, I'm excited to say that today, those choices are a thing of the past. You're going to be able to create just anything that your imagination can imagine with the new Phantom 4 Pro. The Phantom 4 Pro offers professional imaging and creative controls in a ready-to-fly package. This all starts with the camera. The Phantom 4 Pro camera has a new upgraded 1-inch sensor with 20 megapixel still capability. It also has a physical aperture starting from f2.8 to f11 and a mechanical shutter to reduce rolling shutter effects. This creates brilliant, crisp images that look fantastic even in low light scenarios. With a larger sensor, you now have 11.6 stops of dynamic range, allowing you to capture images in really challenging lighting scenarios like this one. The lava, the sea, the sky, all look different, but you're able to pull out the contrast and create a great image. And with the greater pixel density, you can blow it up and still have clarity in your shot. If you don't believe me, actually the professional photographer who shot this, CJ Kale, is here in the audience. So thank you, CJ, for this amazing image. But beyond, beyond being a fantastic tool for photographers, the Phantom 4 Pro allows more creative choices for filmmakers as well. For the first time, you can now shoot 4K at 30 FPS at 100 megabits per second and encoded in H.265, giving you more latitude than ever for color correction. And you can shoot at 4K at 60 FPS, also at 100 megabits per second, for smooth, beautiful shots in slow-mo. But beyond the camera, a professional imaging system requires professional controls. That's why you now have an integrated SD card slot so that you can play back your 4K video on an external monitor using the HDMI port or on our new built-in touchscreen display. A built-in touchscreen display allows you to get up in the air faster, reduce setup time. It also reduces the power draw on your smart device that you have with you. And it also lowers the latency of the live video coming down from the Phantom 4 Pro. For reference, your average tablet ranges in size, but it's typically between 400 to 700 nits in terms of brightness. The built-in screen on the Phantom 4 Pro is 5.5 inches and 1,000 nits of brightness. Yeah. That means the display is large enough so you can see every detail in your shot, and bright enough so that you can compose your shot and adjust camera settings even under direct sunlight without using a hood. Beyond the exceptional built-in display, the Phantom 4 Pro remote has built-in dual 2.4 and 5.8 gigahertz frequencies, meaning that it will automatically switch to whatever band is going to decrease the amount of interference and improve the quality of your control link while you're flying. It also has an extended range of 7 kilometers or 4.3 miles, so you have a lot more robustness in your signal while you're in the air. With the Phantom 4, we introduced what we now call our Intelligent Flight Autonomy system. This was the first iteration of intelligent awareness of the Phantom's environment. On the Phantom 4 Pro, we have upgraded and overhauled this system to make it more reliable and more versatile than ever before. The first thing that you'll notice on the Phantom 4 Pro is that the forward-facing vision sensors have been repositioned so that you get a lot more speed while flying. You can now fly at 31 miles per hour with full assistive functions turned on. This allows for a lot more speed and confidence while you're up in the air. We've also added rear vision sensors in addition to the forward and downward-facing vision sensors, and for the first time, incorporated infrared on both sides of the Phantom 4 Pro with a range of up to 21 feet or 7 meters so that you have 5 directions of sensing. The combination of the vision sensors, infrared, compass, and SLAM image processing gives the Phantom 4 Pro a 3D map of its environment so it can accurately pinpoint itself in locations even without GPS. This knowledge informs a lot of intelligent functions on board, but it also improves a lot of the safety functions that we've developed. This includes our brand new Smart Return to Home function, which will automatically trace its path back to its landing point, so you have a lot more confidence that as it's returning home, it's going to position itself accurately. It also improves its precision landing capabilities, which, like the Mavic, can achieve up to centimeter-precise landing. It also is aware of the environment underneath it, so if you start to land on an uneven surface or running water, it will automatically stop itself and ask for your permission to land in an environment that it thinks is unsafe. An additional function for safety that we've introduced is our new narrow sensing mode. With the 5 directions of sensing that it has on board, it has a lot more confidence in flying in tighter scenarios, such as hallways or doorways. And you can get a lot more amazing shots and with full confidence that you're going to fly safely. Now, I'm excited to show you some of the enhanced intelligent functions that we have on board the new Phantom 4 Pro. Beyond just the safety functions, we've also enhanced a lot of our intelligent flight modes that you've seen before and added a few extra as well. So first, I'm going to tap to take off, and the system will take off by itself. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is use the new incorporated autofocus system that allows me to tap to autofocus, or I can simply half press the photo button on the top of the remote, and it will autofocus for me. Now, I'll show you what the draw function does. Draw is a new function that we've incorporated for the first time on the Phantom 4 Pro that allows you to automatically choose a path that you want the Phantom 4 Pro to fly. So, as you can see, a new route automatically shows up on screen as an augmented reality overlay. I can choose the speed that I want it to fly, and also the direction of the heading, either directly forward or free, so that I can rotate the camera no matter which direction it goes. So as you can see, I just tap go, and it'll automatically start flying the path by itself. Yeah. This allows for a lot more creativity in your flight planning, and for a really cool feature, you can now automatically reverse along the exact same path. So it's essentially setting up a rail that you can run again and again, getting the exact same shot that you want. So I'm going to exit out of this and then show you our brand new tap fly function, which I think you're really going to love. Tap fly was introduced with the Phantom 4 and allowed you to get a straight shot moving forward. But with the rear vision sensors, we now have the confidence to allow you to use tap fly moving backwards in what we call reverse tap fly mode. So I set the point that I wanted to focus on, hit go, and it will automatically fly backwards, avoiding obstacles as it moves by itself, like that cable in front of it. This creates epic reveal shots that were previously really hard to shoot by yourself. So we love the creative functions on board the Phantom 4 Pro, and think you will too. It creates a lot more creative freedom while you're in the air. It gives you more choices in creating your shot. And that's all enabled by the combination of the intelligent flight functions, but also the 1-inch sensor, 20 megapixel stills, 4K video up to 60 frames per second at 100 megabits per second. All of this makes for an incredible creative tool that's further enabled by flight time up to 30 minutes. So this is going to be an amazing system for professional photographers and filmmakers. Now let me show you what it looks like in action. Take a look. All right. The Phantom 4 Pro is a game changer in many ways because it's the first truly creative control enabled ready-to-fly system that we've provided for amateur to professional filmmakers and photographers. But that's not all that we have to share today. It was almost 2 years ago that we introduced our first professional ready-to-fly system, the Inspire 1. The Inspire 1 was a game changer in many ways because it was the first time that you had an interchangeable payload, automatic dual operator control ready to go out of the box, and of course, its iconic transforming design. Since that time, we've upgraded the Inspire 1 in many ways, providing better camera sensors that you can put on board, upgrading the motors so that it has more power in flight. But we've also been listening to creative professionals about their needs in terms of redundancy, agility, and image control. All of this we've taken on board to create the next generation of filmmaking technology. So it's about to get loud. So if you have your earplugs, I'd recommend putting them now, as we show you the next breakthrough in drone imaging technology. Take a look.
Remember, no theatrics. Did you look in the mirror today? Okay, everybody, get on the ground now! We're not here for you. We're here for the money! But don't worry, you're insured by the great United States of America. How you doing, Don? I love your earrings. If you give us one of those exploding dye packs, the next thing that'll be exploding is your head. You understand? Do you understand?
Yes.
Good.
Okay, you've had your moment. Let's get going.
Okay.
Hey, why don't you hand me a water?
Well, I always gotta get you the
Hey,
water.
I'm driving here. It's my car. Give me the water.
All units, please respond to 211 in progress at Bank of Boston at 322.
That's around the corner.
Responded. That's us.
That's around the corner.
Yeah.
824 responding. 824 responding. Right there.
Cops! Light 'em up!
Show me your hands!
Okay, okay. I surrender. I surrender. Hands down. Excuse me.
This is Unit 824. Shots fired. Shots fired. I have an officer down. I need immediate medical assistance. I have 3 down. Location is Hennessy and Warner Brothers.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to introduce the DJI Inspire 2. All right, let's give a warm hand to our actors who did a great job. Thank you. Great job, everybody. To tell you more about the Inspire 2 and its amazing capabilities, I'd like to invite up Mr. Paul Pan. Paul, come on up.
Thank you, Michael. Now, the stunt that you just saw was extremely difficult to do, and maybe even impossible without the help of the Inspire 2, our new, ready-to-fly platform for high-end professional filmmaking. It's everything a cinematographer needs. It features an advanced imaging system, increased flight agility, much faster flight, boosted reliability, and incredible intelligence. Now, this may look like the Inspire 1, but that's where the similarities end. Every piece has been redesigned and re-engineered so that it does not share a single part with the Inspire 1. The plastic shell is now made from a magnesium aluminum alloy. This increases stiffness and cuts back weight. We've also redesigned the carbon fiber, further increasing weight savings, making the entire system more agile and more responsive. With the Inspire 2, we are launching a new dual battery design. This offers improved safety, reliability, with power redundancy. We've boosted the flight time to 27 minutes. This dual battery design also allows for hot swapping on set, saving precious time. With the Inspire 2, we're incorporating vision with 2 vision sensors in front and underneath for obstacle sensing. We've also added infrared sensors on top for overhead obstructions. This new addition that I think a lot of people will get very excited about is the all-new 2-axis stabilized first-person view camera. In dual operator mode, the pilot now has a dedicated view with an adjustable pitch angle. This is completely independent from the main camera, so that the camera operator and the pilot can move freely without inhibiting the pilot. Now let's talk about agility. We've redesigned the propulsion system and increased the overall structural rigidity. The Inspire 2 is the most advanced, agile, and the most agile cinema-grade aerial system we've ever developed. It now has a top speed of 67 miles per hour. It reaches 50 miles per hour in 4 seconds. It's able to descend at an incredible 30 feet per second and climbs at almost 20 feet per second. This means it can perform in the most demanding situations, from slow pans to high-speed chases. High-altitude locations are also no longer a problem. Coupled with the high-altitude propellers, we've increased the service ceiling of the Inspire 2 to 16,400 feet above sea level. With the Inspire 2, we've separated the image processing system from the camera. The image processing system is now called Cinecore 2.0. It's directly embedded into the aircraft. This supports Cinema DNG, Apple ProRes, and H.264 and H.265 encoding. With the Inspire 2, we're launching 2 new cameras. First is the X5S. This is an upgraded version of the X5 found on the Inspire 1 Pro. We've upgraded the Micro Four Thirds sensor, and it's now capable of taking photos at 20.8 megapixels. It shoots in 4K at 60 frames per second and 5.2K at 30 frames per second. The sensor has an ISO range of 100 to 25,600. It has a dynamic range of 12.8 stops, and the camera now supports 8 lenses, from wide angles to zooms. The camera is, of course, powered by Cinecore 2.0. It's able to record at 5.2K at an incredible 4.2 gigabits per second. It shoots 20 megapixel RAW photos at a continuous burst of 20 frames per second. It supports Cinema DNG, Apple ProRes, H.264, and H.265. With the Inspire 2, we're introducing ultra-fast SSDs, guaranteeing optimum reliability and efficiency. The FAT32, or exFAT file system, enhances ease of use, allowing native support for importing videos directly for use. Production teams can now choose the most appropriate format for their projects through various standardized workflows. We're also introducing the X4S. Compared with the previous X3, the X4S now contains a 1-inch sensor that's much bigger than the sensor found in the X3. It is able to shoot 20 megapixel stills, has an ISO range of 100 to 12,800, 11.6 stops of dynamic range, and the camera is also powered by Cinecore 2.0. It shoots 4K 60 in H.264 and 4K 30 in H.265. And both are encoded at 100 megabits. We put a lot of time into the engineering of the X4S lens. We've incorporated a leaf shutter in order to reduce the overall size. This allows for a shutter speed of 1/2000th, and the leaf shutter also reduces rolling shutter. The lens is an f2.8 to f11 24 millimeter equivalent with an 84-degree field of view. This is the smallest and sharpest lens that's ever been made for a 1-inch sensor with an adjustable aperture. We also made some big updates to the Inspire 2's remotes. The remote now operates on 2.4 and 5.8 frequencies, cutting through interference for a much stronger signal. By providing this, it offers a more reliable solution during flight and has a range of up to 4.3 miles. The protocol between the master and slave has also been upgraded. The master and slave can now operate over 300 feet apart, and the live feed from the camera operator and the pilot's remote is now exactly identical. The first-person camera found on the Inspire 2 now appears as a picture-in-picture, and it can actually appear on the same screen. The pilot's FPV and the main camera can be seen basically simultaneously. We've also enhanced the intelligent flight features, leveraging the unique capabilities of the Inspire 2 for greater creative freedom. We're introducing Spotlight Pro. This keeps the camera locked on the subject, and it allows the camera to rotate beyond 360 degrees. The subject stays in the frame as the Inspire flies around freely. Next, we're introducing Profile Mode. Profile Mode is one of the active track functions and turns the camera to capture the subject's side profile. The Inspire always stays facing forward, maintaining the forward-facing sensors so that the aircraft is always protected. Next, we're introducing Tap Fly to the Inspire. Tap Fly now operates through the FPV camera, so the Inspire is always facing forward. We've added Tap Fly Free. This means that the main camera can now rotate freely as the Inspire travels in the direction that the Inspire is tapped. We've always had return to home on all our drones. With the Inspire 2, we're introducing Smart Return Home. This is part of the new FlightAutonomy system. It creates a map of the area that the Inspire 2 has flown through successfully, and with the main camera, it interprets its environment and sees obstacles from 200 meters away. Because of this, it can make intelligent decisions during the return to home process, making the entire process much more energy efficient. We made it also much easier to get into travel mode. You simply press the power button 5 times, remove the camera, and you've entered travel mode. It's that easy. There's no more unpacking and repacking and having to link the remote anymore. As you can see, the Inspire 2 is our most versatile and complete professional aerial filmmaking platform. It's able to shoot 5.2K video at 4.2 gigabits per second. It has an integrated FPV camera and more control in flight, and it has a top speed of 67 miles per hour. And this is just the start of the Inspire 2's capabilities. We're going to be offering a whole new range of accessories, such as a charging station that allows for multiple charging of batteries simultaneously. The DJI Focus is, of course, also compatible with the Inspire 2. And we will be launching a handle that allows the camera to be dismounted and used for handheld. On the side of the aircraft is a USB port. This is made for expandability. This allows for such things as a 4G dongle for high-quality broadcasting, and this will be open for development through the DJI SDK. Today, we're also introducing a much more improved experience when using the Inspire 2. We are launching a line of professional displays called Crystalsky. These feature ultra-bright IPS screens that are viewable in direct sunlight. They've been designed from the ground up to work with the DJI Go app, making it much easier on the camera operator and pilot. Because they've been designed from the ground up, latency has now been decreased. They'll be available in 2 sizes, 5.5 inch and 7.85 inch. There'll be 2 options for the larger screen. One that's capable of 1,000 nits of brightness, and the other 2,000 nits. With an advanced imaging system, enhanced flight capabilities, state-of-the-art reliability, and intelligence, the Inspire 2 is the best ready-to-fly platform for professional filmmakers. In launching the Inspire 2, we really wanted to see how it did on a professional film set. And so, we created a short film with Academy Award-winning cinematographer Claudio Miranda, and that we'll be premiering that today. Let's take a look.
Draw a circle.
Just a circle?
Yes, with one stroke.
I still feel her.
I do too. Art endures, Lucas. That's why we sacrifice for it.
Let's welcome Mr. Claudio Miranda on stage to tell us more about it.
Hey.
So when you use the Inspire 2, how did it enable your creativity in terms of the short film?
Well, I was always trying to figure out a new way to kind of, simpler ways to shoot shots. A lot of times we would have relied on helicopters, but you can't bring helicopters low because wind. And my great feeling about this system is that I was able to get close to people. We did handoffs. We did, and we're working with a camera that uses the same data rates I'm, use on major features. In fact, I was testing this camera a long time ago. I'm skipping all over the place. That's what I do anyway, so ignore that. So I did this little test. I saw this camera on the side. And I was testing with the X5R, and I did a little shoot with my daughter, because I do tests with my daughter up on hills and stuff like that. So, and I shot this thing, not thinking that this would be the camera for my next feature. And, I said, wow, this is really amazing. I'm just kind of playing with myself. And then I went into DI, and I put it on a 60-foot screen. And I said, this is really holding up for feature work. And then I brought the director of the show, Joe Kosinski, and I brought the producers all around, and I said, hey, look at this thing. I know normally I'm not a big fan of small cameras because I feel like they're not cinematic, and I've been disappointed, when the sun's in the shot and you have the shadow side, that kind of offset, it just looks like if you're trying to save the shadows, you lose the sun, you try to save the sun, you lose the shadows, and what happens for me, like artistically, I look at cameras like what it does when it hits the highlights. Does it do some like strange offset, horrible banding, which I'm sure guys are kind of familiar. When you see sun, you see like a white ball, and it does this like steppy kind of awful thing. And I played with initial camera, and it had none of those things for me to want to hate. So I said, okay, we shot this on my movie, and I see footage looks totally amazing. And then when DJI approached me to shoot the circle, I said, and we were going to completely do this all. With this, the new Inspire 2 with its new camera, it's actually even better than what I shot the movie with more sensors and more sensitivity. I said, sure, let's try this. And I initially read the script, and I didn't even think that it was a drone script. It was a period piece. I kind of was going like, oh, this doesn't make sense. I thought it had to be action, or it was completely off. And I said, there's a couple things that I like doing as a filmmaker. I don't like shooting at before I had the thing, some drone cameras, and you have to shoot at 16 because God knows it's going to be out of focus if you don't. And I shot this, the circle at an f-stop of around 2 to 2.8, something normal, night footage, and I let it, and I had the confidence of its new, be able to see the footage and have confidence on my focus puller pulling focus. You're not having to wait and go like transcoded. And it's so much sharper on the screen than I've seen before. So that for me, it allows me to kind of shoot where I like to shoot. If you know me, I like shooting at a freaking 1.4, most of all my stuff. Whether you agree or disagree, I like it. So all these ways that I like shooting was kind of available for me on this the circle shot we shot. We shot some very strange ways of shooting, mounting the drone on the side of a car, like a hostess tray. It seems very strange, but we did it. And I did some really kind of, this was a little shot coming down from a bed. And we just kind of hung the drone, and I just had a grip with little pulley and just pull it down. And I had a remote head on a shot where if I said, okay, if you do that on a movie, I would have the ceiling out, it'd be on a set because I couldn't get the crane that high. I mean, it was almost impossible to do another way. So, I mean, it's not, maybe there's other ways to do it. I don't know, that was my way of doing it. It was a lot of fun. So, and you know, when I'm in DI, that I'm doing for my next movie, which is Granite Mountain, we're looking at all the footage. And this is, I actually took it to the same place that we did The Circle with, which is with Mike Sowat at Technicolor. And we're both pretty amazed at the footage that we've got.
That's really awesome to hear all the experience with The Circle. So, like, you know, you're used to using the much larger cameras for your other productions.
Right.
I mean, how does this smaller camera compare?
Well, I feel like, you know, I feel the confidence that it's shooting at the same data rate. You know, that my I shoot a lot with the F-65. You know, the director I shoot with shoots, and it's, I don't know. It's what you get from the details, from the shadow to the highlight, and it's not ripping, it's not tearing. And like I said before, normally I'm not a fan of the kind of things that the small cameras have done for me in the past. You know, the little. I can't say names to kind of shout at anyone, but but whatever. And we, even on my big movie, we had, fire, which is a huge thing, and even some of the other name brand cameras, there was one of them that kind of failed, and I won't mention that name, but it just made it look flat and undimensional. So even in the highlights between 80 to 100%, where I affect a lot of cameras to kind of make it look two-dimensional, like it kind of flattens the image out. I still had range, and it still felt three-dimensional.
So you felt like the footage that you captured, I mean, like, it was really good, right? Like, even when you started looking at it in post-production.
Yeah, I don't feel like I have to protect the camera. I don't have to say, let's not point at the sun and have a scene that you want to expose in the shadows.
Cool.
So you could say, it's totally free, and this camera is better. I shot the movie, we did tests on that, and this camera on the Circle was even better than that.
The Circle was completely shot on the Inspire 2 camera.
It was completely shot on the Inspire 2.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Claudio, for coming and
right.
sharing your experience
Right.
with us. Now let's welcome Michael back on stage.
Thank you, Claudio, and thank you, Paul. Like all of our products, both the Inspire 2 and the Phantom 4 Pro will be fully compatible with our mobile SDK. We're always really excited and passionate about seeing how people are pushing forward the future of our technology by creating new apps and new programs. And as Paul mentioned, the SDK is compatible with the onboard USB slot. So there's a lot more creative options that we're excited to see from you. With the Phantom 4 Pro and the Inspire 2, we'll also be announcing a new DJI Care product that we call DJI Care Refresh. DJI Care Refresh offers more choices in allowing you to automatically get replacements for your cameras and your aerial platforms. You'll get priority shipping services, fast turnaround time, and an engineer waiting on the other line for your call. So when you have a problem and you need to get up in the air quickly, DJI Care Refresh has got you covered. The Phantom 4 Pro will be available for pre-order today, and it will be available in two different versions. The Phantom 4 Pro allows you to add your own tablet or smart device, and the Phantom 4 Pro Plus incorporates the built-in display. They'll both start shipping next week at a price point of $1,499 for the Phantom 4 Pro and $1,799 for the Phantom 4 Pro Plus. It's a great value and offers a ton of creative solutions for filmmakers and photographers. For the Inspire 2, the Inspire 2 will also be available for pre-order today and will come in two different versions. One, a combo, which includes the camera, the X5S. It also includes Apple ProRes licensing and Cinema DNG licenses for the platform. A standalone device will also be available, but will be shipping later in January. The combo will start shipping next month. And the price for the standalone version will be $2,999. And through December, we'll have a special price for the combo unit for $5,999. It's a great value that includes a lot of capabilities for professionals. We are so excited about these new systems, and we really see this as an opportunity to take a lot of the advancements that we've seen in amateur to professional photography and expand it beyond the audience that have already started adopting our technology. We cannot wait to start seeing this incorporated on even more features, more TV shows, and your creative workflow. So thank you all so much for coming. We're going to wrap things up here with a short spot showing you some of the capabilities of the Inspire 2. While that's showing, we'll invite you to come down. At the end of this, we have some food set up, and you can get your hands on the product, ask us some questions. And then between 1 and 1:30, we'll start rounding up people for a special screening of the Circle. Unfortunately, seating is limited, so if you got a gold ticket with your name on it, that means you'll be rounded up and going to the screening. So thank you all so much for coming, and please enjoy the spot.
At its launch, the Inspire 1 was a revolution. It turned tens of thousands of people into aerial filmmakers and now appears on professional film sets around the world. The Inspire 2 builds on this foundation, empowering filmmakers to be more creative than ever, whether flying as a team or operating as a single pilot. A dedicated 2-axis stabilized FPV camera with independently adjustable pitch gives the pilot a personal live feed, freeing the camera up to move any way they need to get the shot. Top speed is boosted to 67 miles per hour, 108 kilometers per hour, and ascent and descent is also accelerated. This speed doesn't come without protection. DJI's unmatched FlightAutonomy system comes to the Inspire 2, bringing with it an extended range close to 100 feet, meaning faster flight with protection from what it can see. It also adds an infrared sensing system placed on top of the Inspire, extending obstacle avoidance to obstructions overhead. The new dual battery design increases flight time, hitting a maximum of 27 minutes when using the X4S camera, and also provides battery redundancy. Self-heating systems mean the Inspire 2 can be flown in extreme cold. The ZENMUSE X5S Micro Four Thirds camera now has a 20.8 megapixel sensor with better pixel performance. It is capable of capturing 5.2K at 30 frames per second, as well as 4K at 60 frames per second. It also supports cinema DNG and ProRes recording.
And you just kind of look at it and you go, like, that's really small, but how can this little small thing give these big results? Normally I wouldn't think of it using a drone for normal shots, but kind of made this really simple shot easily, you know, and look great. And I'm telling you, I'm really picky.
The Inspire 2 is DJI Focus compatible for precision focus control. A broad range of Micro Four Thirds lenses are also supported, including zooms from 9mm to 45mm.
The 45 is pretty beautiful on this camera. We use that a lot for close-ups and has a great depth of field, and just makes me feel like, you know, that's kind of cinematic for me.
The Inspire 2 image processor, known as CineCore 2.0, offers cinema DNG, ProRes, H.264, and H.265 recording onto a detachable PCIe SSD drive with a maximum read and write speed of 6 gigabits per second, or a micro SD card. ProRes is a widely used delivery method for post-production, offering flexibility for editing while not compromising image quality. But to get the absolute most out of what you shoot, the Inspire 2 also captures RAW.
Acquiring content on RAW just gives you more information to work with in your post-process. the raw native Cinema DNG format gives you the most dynamic range possible of that camera. It basically takes full advantage of the sensor and everything that it can see.
There isn't one shot that we compromised for detail, for color purity, for separation of images, for black, for low light detail, highlight detail. Boy, I never could have told you that this particular footage came from a drone. It's just too good.
New intelligent modes, including Spotlight Pro and Profile, make cinematic shots easier for production teams and even for single operators. Spotlight Pro keeps the camera locked on the subject, rotating beyond 360 degrees to fix the target in frame as the Inspire flies. While Profile mode turns the camera to capture the subject's profile as the Inspire flies forward. By maintaining forward flight, obstacle sensing systems are able to protect the aircraft. The onboard FPV camera separates the flight view from the main camera view, effectively giving the Inspire 2 a dedicated tap fly camera. Just tap on the screen to fly in that direction and focus on camera control. During return to home, the primary camera with a maximum sensing range of 200 meters is used to effectively avoid obstructions. Live TV broadcasting has also been enabled natively through an optimized broadcast mode that streams smooth video at the 1080i50 and 720p 60 live broadcast standard. The Inspire 2 brings better quality images, more power, and more intelligence to professional aerial filmmaking, setting the stage for more filmmakers to take to the sky.